Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you never have to work for money again. Not because you won the lottery, not because you inherited millions, but because your money works harder than you do. This isn't a fantasy. It's the reality of people who follow the simple path to wealth, a life-changing approach by J.L. Collins to achieve financial freedom, without stress, without confusion, and without chasing the next hot stock. Meet David, a 27-year-old in Chicago. He has a decent job. Every month, his paycheck arrives, and like magic, it disappears. Rent car, loan credit cards, weekend fun, and yet he feels stuck in the same cycle. He works for money, but money never works for him. One day, he sees his senior colleague Mark taking an unplanned 6-month vacation to Europe. Mark isn't a millionaire. He isn't even a VP. So David asks the question we all wonder, how are you doing this? Are you rich or just lucky? Mark smiles and says, I just follow a simple path. My money works harder than I do. And this is exactly what J.L. Collins teaches. Break free from living paycheck to paycheck. Let your money grow quietly in the background, and how to retire earlier than you ever imagined. But here's the catch. Before you can grow wealth, you have to stop doing the one thing keeping you broke. If I asked you right now, how much of your last paycheck is actually working for your future self? Most people would be silent. Because the truth is, we are busy buying lifestyle, not freedom. We upgrade cars instead of investments. We chase the newest phone instead of financial security. We work for income, but never build assets. J.L. Collins calls this the wealth trap. If you let lifestyle creep eat your money, you will always be working for it. Every dollar you spend today is a soldier you killed. Every dollar you invest is a soldier fighting for your freedom. You've heard the advice. Skip your coffee to get rich. J.L. Collins laughs at that. He says, it's not the $5 latte that keeps you broke, it's the $500 car upgrade, the $5,000 credit card balance, and the $50,000 you never invested. The real problem? We work hard for money, but we never make money work for us. Have you ever opened your banking app and thought, where did all my hard-earned money go? Or felt like your salary disappears the moment it arrives? Or maybe you've delayed investing because it felt complicated or scary. If your answer is yes, then the simple path to wealth is exactly what you need to hear today. The first step is simple. Stop making your money a slave to your lifestyle. J.L. Collins teaches 3 golden rules. 1. Live below your means. 2. Invest the difference. 3. Let compound interest silently build your future. And this is where the real magic begins. Because saving money is only step 1. The real question is, where should you put that money so it quietly grows, even while you sleep? Saving money is the first step to freedom. But here's the truth, nobody tells you. If your money is just sitting in a savings account, you're slowly getting poorer every year. Because inflation is a silent thief. Your dollars lose value while you sleep. So the question is, where do you put your money so it grows quietly, even when you do nothing? Back to David. He listened to Mark and started saving 20% of his salary. But soon, he faced the same problem we all face. What do I do with my savings? Stocks felt risky. Real estate felt complicated. Crypto was scary. So, he did what most people do. He left the money in his bank account. 6 months later, he realized, even after saving hard, his wealth hadn't really grown. That's when Mark shared J.L. Collins' lazy investor secret. He said, you don't need to be a Wall Street expert. You don't need to check the market daily. You just need to own the entire market and let time do the work. Collins gives the simplest advice for building wealth. Invest in low-cost index funds. VTSAX is the go-to choice for U.S. stock market investing. Why this works? It owns hundreds of America's biggest companies. If one fails, others balance the loss. As the U.S. economy grows, your wealth grows automatically. You don't have to beat the market to get rich. You just have to be the market. Have you ever delayed investing because it felt complicated or risky? Have you ever thought, I'll start later, when I have more money? Or wondered how rich people make money while doing nothing? The answer is simple. They own the market and let time make them rich. Mark challenged David. Take $500 a month, put it into a total stock market index fund, and don't touch it for 10 years. David ran the numbers. 10 years gives $85,000. 20 years gives $247,000. 30 years gives over $500,000. No lottery, no overtime. Just compound interest, doing its quiet magic. But here's the dangerous truth. Most people start investing and then lose money anyway. Not because the market fails, but because their emotions fail them. In the next part, we'll uncover the golden rule of wealth, the rule that protects your money for life. David was finally investing. He was excited every month. He watched his portfolio grow. Then one morning, he saw a headline. Stock market plunges 20% in a single month. David opened his app. Thousands of dollars gone. His stomach turned. His heart raced. Should I pull my money out before I lose it all? He thought, This is the moment where most people lose wealth. Not because the market is broken, but because their emotions are. Collins calls this the silent wealth killer. Panic is more expensive than any market crash. David called Mark in panic. "I'm losing money. Should I sell everything?" Mark laughed softly and said, "No. Sit tight. This is the part that makes you rich." David was confused. "Losing money makes me rich." Mark explained the golden rule of wealth. The market always recovers. The only way you lose is if you panic and sell. The stock market is like a roller coaster. In the short term, it goes up and down. In the long term, it always goes up. If you zoom out 50 years of US market history, every crash, recession, and crisis eventually recovered. Patient investors always win. Emotional investors always lose. Wealth is built in decades, not in days or weeks. Think of investing like planting a tree. If you dig it up every week to check the roots, it will die. If you water it and leave it alone, one day it will give shade, fruit, and freedom. Have you ever sold something in panic, only to watch its value go right back up later? That's why J.L. Collins says, set it and forget it. But here's the thing about money. Even if you follow the simple path and get rich, you can still feel poor. Because true wealth isn't just about dollars in your account. It's about freedom and peace of mind. In the next, we'll uncover what true wealth really means and why freedom is the ultimate goal of money. We've talked about saving, we've talked about investing, but let me tell you a secret most millionaires know. Money alone doesn't make you wealthy. You can have 6 figures in the bank and still feel trapped, stressed, or anxious. Because true wealth is not just about money. It's about freedom. Remember Mark Davis' mentor? He doesn't own a mansion. He doesn't drive a luxury car, but he travels when he wants. He wakes up without an alarm. He never worries about the next paycheck. Mark smiles and says, "My life is rich because I control my time, not because I collect fancy things." J.L. Collins calls this FU money. It's the amount of money that gives you the power to say no. No to a toxic boss. No to a job you hate. No to trading your health for a paycheck. With FU money, you finally live on your terms. Wealth is not measured in money. It's measured in freedom over your time and choices. Think about 2 people. Person A earns $200,000 a year, but works 70 hours a week, hates his job, and can't take a break. Person B earns $60,000 a year, but his investments cover most expenses, and he's free to spend his days as he likes. Who's truly rich? The answer isn't in the salary. It's in the freedom. If money wasn't a problem, how would you spend your time? Would you travel? Start a side project? Spend more time with family? This is why the simple path to wealth exists. Not just to make you rich, but to set you free. But before you can enjoy freedom, there's one last challenge on the path to wealth. Most people sabotage their own success because they fall into 3 deadly money traps. In the next part, we'll reveal the 3 traps that quietly destroy wealth and how you can avoid them for life. You're saving, you're investing, you're dreaming of freedom. But let me warn you, even people who follow the simple paths sometimes fail because they fall into 3 deadly money traps that silently destroy wealth. Let's uncover them. The first trap is lifestyle creep. Here's how it works. You get a raise, you buy a bigger car. You get a bonus, you upgrade your apartment, you start earning more, you spend more. Before you know it, your lifestyle has eaten your freedom. J.L. Collins says, if you let lifestyle eat your money, you will always work for it. David got a promotion and decided to lease a luxury car. At first, he felt proud. But after 3 months, the excitement faded, and he realized he had locked himself back into the paycheck trap. The second trap is chasing hot investments. Tech stocks are booming. You buy them at the peak. Crypto is surging. You jump in without a plan. A friend whispers about a secret opportunity. You FOMO buy. Result, you buy high, sell low, and repeat the cycle. A friend of Mark's invested his entire savings in the next big crypto. When it doubled, he bragged. When it crashed 80%, he panicked and sold everything, locking in a life-changing loss. The third trap is FOMO itself. You see your friend get rich overnight? You feel like you're falling behind, so you chase quick wins instead of the simple path. FOMO makes you act out of emotion, not strategy. And as J.L. Collins says, the market rewards the patient and punishes the restless. Wealth isn't about getting rich fast. It's about staying rich forever. Which of these traps do you feel you've fallen into before? Lifestyle creep? Chasing hot investments? Is it FOMO or what? Recognizing your trap is the first step to escaping it. Avoiding these traps keeps your wealth safe, but there's still one final lesson. Before you can truly master the simple path to wealth, In the next segment, we'll reveal how to create a money autopilot system so you can build wealth without thinking about it. You've learned the traps to avoid, but here's the real secret to stress-free wealth. Take the thinking out of money. J.L. Collins calls it creating a money autopilot system, because if you have to think and decide every month, sooner or later, emotions will win over logic. The key to building lasting wealth: automate it. When David first started investing, he used to manually transfer money into his index fund. Some months he skipped, some months he delayed, some months he overthought the market. Mark said, if you want to get rich without stress, make it automatic. David set up automatic transfers. Every payday, he saves 20%. Smart, huh? He never saw the money, so he never missed it. This is the magic of automation. 1. Pay yourself first. Money goes to your investments before spending. To remove emotions, no panic buying or selling. 3. Consistency builds wealth. Even small amounts compound into freedom. As J.L. Collins says, the market rewards those who act like owners. And forget they own it. If you automate wealth, you'll never need willpower to get rich. Imagine your paycheck arrives, and without lifting a finger, part of it goes to future you, silently building freedom every month. Would that remove your money stress? Would you finally feel in control? Think of this system like planting a self-watering garden. You set it up once, it grows quietly. One day, you wake up surrounded by financial freedom. David now had money on autopilot. He wasn't chasing, stressing, but there was one final step that turned his financial freedom into life freedom. In the next segment, we'll reveal how to design your freedom. Number, the exact amount that lets you walk away from work forever. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, stretch, and realize, I never have to work for money again, unless I choose to. This moment is called financial freedom. And J.L. Collins says, freedom isn't a dream, it's a number. Mark once asked David, what's your freedom number? David shrugged. Maybe $1 million? Mark smiled. Freedom isn't about a random number. It's about the income your investments can generate forever. J.L. Collins simplifies it using the 4% rule. 1. Calculate your annual expenses. Example, $40,000 per year. To multiply by 25. $40,025 equals $1 million. 3. This is your freedom number, because a $1 million portfolio can safely generate 4% per year. $40,000 covers your lifestyle forever. It's not magic. It's math plus patience. Financial freedom isn't about being a billionaire. It's about knowing your exact number and hitting it. Think of your investments as a money tree. Once the tree grows big enough, it drops enough fruit to feed you every year. Without cutting it down, that's what 4% withdrawal is. Living off the fruit. While your tree keeps growing, if you stop working today, how much would you actually need per year to feel free? Is it $30,000? $50,000? $70,000? Multiply that by 25, and you now know your freedom number. Now David had his number. He could see the finish line. But one last question remained. What do you actually do with your life once money is no longer a problem? In the next segment, we'll explore the ultimate purpose of wealth and why freedom without meaning can still feel empty. David had finally hit his freedom number. He could quit his job tomorrow. But a strange question hit him. Now what? He realized something powerful. Money can buy freedom, but it cannot buy meaning. After achieving financial independence, Mark spent the first few months traveling and relaxing. It felt amazing for a while, but soon he woke up one morning thinking, is this all? I have freedom, but what am I doing with it? This is where J.L. Collins gives his final lesson. Wealth is a tool. Its purpose is to give you the life you actually want to live. The ultimate goal of wealth isn't just to retire early. It's to spend time with people you love, work on projects you care about, experience life fully, without fear or pressure. Freedom without purpose feels empty, but freedom with purpose feels like true wealth. Money is only powerful when it buys you time to live life on your own terms. Think of wealth like a key. A key itself does nothing, but when you open the right door, you step into a life of freedom, joy, and meaning. If money was no longer an issue, what would you do with your days? Travel the world? Start your dream project? Spend more time with family? Answering this question gives purpose to your financial journey. David finally understood. Money was never the goal. Freedom was, and freedom without a meaningful plan is just empty space. But there was one final insight. J.L. Collins left him with a simple truth that would keep him wealthy and fulfilled for life. In the next segment, we'll share the ultimate takeaway from the simple path to wealth and how you can start your own path today. David's journey had come full circle. He started as someone trapped by paychecks, terrified of the future. Now he had freedom, peace, and purpose. But before saying goodbye, Mark left him with the ultimate takeaway. From J.L. Collins, The Simple Path to Wealth. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. Avoid debt. And most importantly, stay the course. This is the entire formula for wealth. And yet, most people ignore it because it feels too simple. Mark told David about two friends. Friend A kept chasing get-rich-quick schemes. Friend B followed the simple path quietly for 15 years. 15 years later, Friend A had stories of wins and losses. Friend B had freedom, stability, and peace. Sometimes, the slow road is the fastest road to wealth. Here's what J.L. Collins wants everyone to remember. 1. Wealth is boring. Index funds, automatic investing, patience. 2. Wealth is emotional. Your mindset decides if you stay the course. 3. Wealth is freedom. Not money for the sake of money, but for time, choice, and peace of mind. You don't have to be brilliant to be wealthy. You just have to be consistent and patient. Think of your wealth journey like crossing a river on stepping stones. Some people jump from stone to stone in panic. Some fall trying to run too fast. The smart ones, they step slowly, steadily, and never stop until they reach the other side of freedom. If you started your simple path today, how long would it take to reach your freedom number? Take a moment to imagine that version of yourself, living without fear, without pressure, completely free. Now David understood the path. He had the steps, the mindset, and the plan. But there's one last thing you need to hear. The final push to start your own journey today. In the next and final segment, we'll give you a powerful conclusion and call to action that will change the way you see money forever. David looked out the window one morning, coffee in hand, sunlight pouring in, and for the first time in his life, he whispered to himself, "I'm free." He wasn't chasing promotions. He wasn't scared of bills. He wasn't waiting for Friday to feel alive. This was true wealth. J.L. Collins ends A Simple Path to Wealth with a reminder. Your money is a tool. It can control you or it can set you free. The choice is yours. The path isn't glamorous, it isn't complicated, but it works. If you start, David's story could be yours. He started small. He automated his money. He stayed patient while everyone else panicked. And years later, he was living life on his own terms. You don't need luck. You don't need genius. You just need consistency, patience, and courage to start. Freedom doesn't come from earning more. It comes from needing less and investing the rest. If this message resonated with you, don't just watch this video and move on. Decide your freedom number today. Automate your path with index funds or your local equivalents. Start small, but start now. Because every day you delay, your future self waits longer for freedom. Thank you for staying till the end. If you want more life-changing book breakdowns like this, subscribe and join our journey to financial freedom. Your simple path to wealth starts now.